Hi, welcome to the Money Effect, where I bring you all the news, money, and finance related. Disclaimer: this is not financial advice and strictly for educational purposes and just my opinions. Hit the like and subscribe for the YouTube algo and continued content. Now that's out the way, let's go. So, what I want to discuss, I want to take a look at the market and, if you've been following it, even if you've just been following it, generally news, you'll see that with the stock market, well, some would say it's crashing. Whether it's been crashing now or all years is unknown, but it's definitely not looking great. And one of the reasons why it's not looking great is because of this new variant. So I'll just give a bit of background into what's going on at the moment. We've got a variant. Obviously, I'm not. This is a finance money related channel, so I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But in essence, we've got a new variant, a lot of unknowns about it. But the only thing we do know for certain, or apparently, is that if you're fully vaccinated and you take a third booster, likelihood is that you're going to be very good not to catch anything that would potentially kill you. And that's, I guess, what the governments around the world are desperately trying to stop. So some information. We've had some Pfizer and results saying that their two vaccines will give you, kind of 70%. I think the Astra is a bit less, but in general, um, researchers are pointing to the fact that if you are fully vaccinated and you do take this booster, then likelihood is that you will generally, have a good level of protection. So that's what's going on in the world at the moment. They're rolling this out. So obviously, again, look here, it's not even been confirmed that that is the case, but that's what these governments are leading with. So, we'll have to take them by the word. But yeah, now what's that impacting? So in the UK, they've implemented Plan B. Plan B is basically, more face masks, I think working from home guidance, and obviously some limits on travel. So if we look at a couple of stocks affected, we can see IAG, it's looking at a 5-day period, you know, it's been heading down. Not too drastic, but definitely with especially IAG, which is British Airways that does long haul flights, it's going to be affected. More countries are going onto this red list, which might be changing in the next week or two, but that's definitely an impact at the moment. Again, hospitality sectors, if you look at Weatherspoons, for example, in a 5-day period, that's going down as well. Obviously, trying to limit public gatherings and just in general, people might not want to go out in public as much. So that's kind of what's impacting the market. So we've got that, which is a bit crazy at the moment. But then on the other side, we've kind of got a double-edged sword. We've got this return of inflation. And again, I've been talking about this topic. Inflation, prices are rising. I did say in my videos that, these people, central banks, I think this lady here was actually the um, head of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. If you don't know what that is, potentially Google it. But she's a very clever lady. And, you've got the Fed chairman, you've got the Bank of England chairman. These are all very clever people. And inflation is still ramping. Apparently, it was only meant to be temporary, but now they seem to be changing their tune. And then they seem to be changing their tune and saying, well, you know what? Maybe this inflation ain't temporary. Maybe this is quite sticky and this is going to slump economic growth. But now they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. If they raise interest rates, it's going to affect the market. And if they're raising interest rates at a time where this variant is ramping up, affecting demand, it's just going to double down on that effect and decrease inflation even below they want. Or do they just keep the interest rates as they are, and then this variant might be a good thing if the variant does have an impact on demand, but then if the variant doesn't have an impact on demand and they keep interest rates as they are, inflation is just going to rampantly run out of control. And obviously, we've got, we don't know how effective, as I discussed, we don't know how effective these vaccines are. In the UK, we're on plan B. Probably they've got plan C, D, E, F, G. They'll just keep making it up as they go along. We know that's how it's going to go. So we don't know what other plans they've got at hold. And obviously, you've got central banks meeting this week. You've got the Federal Reserve. Now that the chairman has his renomination, now he doesn't really care about raising rates now, because now he's suddenly changed after a week after getting another 4 years or whatever term it is. Now he's suddenly changed his tune, saying, "Oh, actually, I don't think inflation may be a bit persistent than I was saying before," which is quite a coincidence. So obviously, we've got that going on. The Federal Reserve, they're going to be meeting in the next couple of days. Inflation is just going up and up, so they might decide, you know what, we're gonna raise interest rates sooner than we were telling everyone. He's been renominated now. He's got his job guaranteed, so now he can, raise interest rates and dampen global growth and annoy Joe Biden, and he can do that now. So potentially, we might see that. Also, again, you've got the International Monetary Fund. They're telling the Bank of England again, they've been leading the whole inflation is temporary. Um, and like I said, these people are meant to be the cleverest of the cleverest, PhDs, probably got 10 PhDs between them. But now they're all kind of changing their tune, saying, "Oh, well, you know what, inflation might be a problem," and maybe it shows how out of touch of reality these people are. Because if you go to the shops, anybody can go to the shops and see that, things are being expensive. You go get petrol, crude oil is falling, but petrol's still going up. So, energy, go check your energy bills. Like everything is going up, and it's shocking that I don't know what world these people live in, but you know, we that live in the real world can see that things are getting way more expensive. So obviously now the IMF is even telling the Bank of England, don't delay. But again, like I said, there's so much uncertainty in the market right now because they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Because if they do raise interest rates and this variant, that will dampen demand, because obviously interest rates will go up, things like your mortgages will get more expensive. That means you have less money to spend on goods, going shopping, going out, having a few drinks. Obviously, less if you're spending less, then why do employers need to hire waitresses, for example? Then those people don't have a job, they don't pay taxes. It just dampens economic growth. But if you're doing that at the same time as you have a variant and you're potentially now introducing plan C, D, E, and F, that's just going to have a double effect. Or do you wait and see? If you wait and see, and these initial, already Pfizer, I believe, have said 2 doses gives you 70%. If you take a booster, you're going to be good. We're having a massive rollout of boosters. If they're able to get all these boosters out, maybe this variant is not as serious as first seen. Then you don't raise rates, and inflation just continues going up and up and up and up, and you're leaving yourself with more problems down the line. So, at the moment, that's what's going on in the market, and that's why it's very subdued. A lot of people are just kind of waiting and seeing. What's going to happen. People not on the sidelines, and those are the two main things. Now, also, what we're seeing as well, if we look at Robinhood. So Robinhood is basically their trading platform where you can buy and sell shares, essentially. And look, we're even getting more news. We're going to get vaccine centers. So this is about the booster rollout. So, they're really looking to get these boosters rolled out to, um, get these boosters rolled out so we don't have to go to plan C, D, and E, whatever that's going to be. So if we look at now, but also, so you've got variant, you've got inflation, and then you've got this also thing called hype. Now, when I say hype, we look at this company called Robinhood. Robinhood is a platform that does free trading, essentially. Now, it's been beset by its own problems in terms of, is it actually free trading, or they're saying it's free trading, but is technically not, and they're doing. I'm not going to go into it, but they're doing something sophisticated to make it seem like free trading. But you could see the hype behind this company. You know, this is a company that's, you know, initially gone onto the stock market. And when I say initially gone onto the stock market, I mean, you know, it's not a private company anymore, it's a public company, and people were able to buy and sell shares. And within, like, you know, about a week, it's doubled in value. And a lot of people were buying shares here thinking, oh, this is just going to keep going up and up and up. This is the future. And instead, it's gone down, 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 down to here. And twofold, because of the regulation they're dealing with, because of, you know, these are growth companies that are not necessarily, you know, making that much money. Uh, and the fact that, you know, people potentially now like, you know what, I'm just going to cut my losses. I just need to sell and get out of these stocks. These stocks are just going down and down. You know, we've got articles like this. You'll see articles like this. Even other YouTubers, you know, everyone is doing this average down, and I'm always you can average down if you can never time the stock market. You know, you could buy into a stock and it goes down the next day. You could buy into a stock and it goes up the next day. That's just luck. But if you fundamentally believe in something, just like anything in life, you kind of have to persevere. But if you don't know what these companies are and you just keep averaging down and you get articles like this, oh, Robinhood looks like a buy at 24. You know, well, that does kind of make sense because it did get to 70. It's gone all the way down to 24. So yeah, like why let me get into it? But lo and behold, it drops further. So that's why you have to do your own research and you have to know what you're talking about. Then you know, again, all these IPOs, these companies have had IPOs. And we've got a lot of this in the market now. A lot of quick money came into the market. A lot of people in 2020 was making good money in 2021 now. You know, a lot of these companies are just and it's more so growth companies. And when I say a growth company, it's a company that, you know, might not necessarily be have cash. And the best kind of company to think would be a Tesla. You know, Tesla is a growth company because in essence, I don't even know if Tesla's making a profit right now, but in the future, you know, if oil does and petrol does become obsolete, we all turn to electric cars. Obviously, that's going to be one of the ones that will benefit. You know, we've got another stock here, and Beyond Meat. You know, if we look at this came onto the stock market at, you know, $50 or whatever. It went all the way up to 234. You know, that's like a near 5-time increase because this is a company that does vegan food, and everybody's thinking as we're trying to consume less meat, the world is going to turn vegan. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but is it going to happen in the space of 2 months? And now everybody's thinking, oh, these people that bought here are now like, okay, well, you know, let's sell, and look, it's literally dropped back down to the same price. So this is why, you know, you kind of have to do your research. Again, NIO, Chinese company, also China got their own issues, but you know, you see it's gone up, and it goes down. Again, QuantumScape does batteries for electric cars. It's meant to be the future. You know, again, open on the stock market at 10. It went all the way to, you know, let's say 120 in the space of what, a month? You know, space of a month or two. You know, 12 times it's gone up. You know, in the space of a month or two. And you know, this is kind of making a lot of people in the market nervous, and people pulling out their money. Why? Because it's kind of reminiscent of the dot-com boom. So if you want to now Google what the dot-com boom is, you know, you can do a Google. It's on Wikipedia. You can have a brief read through. But basically, it was a period in the time where, in the 2000s, between say like, you know, 96 to 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, where, you know, the internet was now becoming. People were looking at the internet and saying, you know what, technology is kind of the way to go. The world is going to turn technical. And you had a lot of companies now that just everybody was trying to get their piece. Now, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, you've got Amazon that goes public at $18 a share, you know, within that was in '97. Within a year and a half, it hit 2050, and people were saying it's going to hit 400. That's 40 time increase. You've got this company, the Globe.com. I don't even know what this company is. On one day, it went up 600%. 3 years later, it delisted. It closed at 16 cents. So if you bought it at 63, you do the math, 63 divided by 0.16, that's how much you've lost. People have even gone to jail over it. And that's kind of reminiscent of what's happened now. And the key is that, if you do want to pick up stocks now, you're going to get a lot of people, especially the YouTube commentators, are saying, "Oh, average down. These stocks are good. Buy average down. Hold them for 5 to 10 years." But it's a lot easier saying that than in reality doing it. And you've got Amazon that sank. Probably one of the greatest stories. Amazon literally didn't do nothing for what, nearly 13 years. It was just coming along nicely. But now, as we know, Amazon is one of the biggest tech companies in the world. So in this period, some of these companies, like the Beyond Meats, like the Neos, the QuantumScape, they could become the next Amazons. They could become to dominate the world. QuantumScape could become the battery provider for all electric cars. Beyond Meat could become a company where everybody stops eating meat. But it's not going to happen. This happened in the space of 2 months. Realistically, it could take years to get to this level. And that's why it's kind of important for you to understand that. To conclusion, as we head into 2022, I think the most important thing is it's good to listen to YouTube commentators, but also you've got to think about yourself. You've got to think about your priorities. Maybe investing is not for you. Maybe, and when I say investing, maybe stock picking investing. Maybe you can say, you know what, this has been a good introduction into the markets. I just want to keep in touch with general news, but I would rather just put my money in an index fund or a trust manager or just an ETF where I'm following the indexes and just leave it there. Let them I trust them. I don't mind paying their fees. I let them do the business. They're going to give me a diversified portfolio. And when I say diversified, when you invest in a fund of theirs, you're going to have 30 to 50 stocks. So if one of the stocks goes to zero, it's likely not going to impact your money. Whereas if you do it yourself and you've got 5 stocks and one of them goes to zero, that's what 20% of your portfolio potentially wiped out. So that might be better for you. Also, property might be a good time for you to start learning more about property. Maybe you want to get a second home, learn things like that. Or, a lot of people want to get financial freedom. There's this FIRE movement, but maybe you are somebody that's just going to be good at working. There's so many courses out there, you can do, improve your technical skills, get better jobs. So it's not necessarily that everybody would need to become a stock picker and investor, but you can, watch these channels to kind of get general information. And that's what I provide, is general information for educational purposes. You're looking at also how to manage your money better. If interest rates go up, what should I be looking at? How do I save on my mortgage? Do I get a fixed mortgage in now? Those kind of things. Not everyone that needs to go out and listen to these guys and buy the next Beyond Meat thinking it's going to change the world when it gets to here and then losing like all their money. It's not necessarily about that. So yeah, this is the Money Effect. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe and stay on the lookout for continued content. Thank you.